I don't know if you guys have ever played this game. It's one of my favorite games when I was younger. It takes forever to play. It's like worse than playing Monopoly, but it's still a good time. And the rat race is just how the game is set up. It's just part of being on this planet. Everything is running in the rat race. It doesn't matter if you're a bird. It doesn't matter if you're a bear. It doesn't matter if you're a human being. Basically, you got to get out in the morning. Here's a favorite quote. We'll start with a favorite quote of mine. When I was in high school, there was this poster. Up on up in my shop class, my automotive shop class. Somehow, my mom found a way that I could do all of my extra credits at an auto shop class down the road. So I'd go to like high school for like 3-4 classes in the morning, and then at like 11 or 12, I go to auto shop class for like another 3-4 hours. And in this auto shop class, there's this poster, and it said, every morning in Africa, a gazelle wakes up, and it knows it needs to outrun the fastest lion in order to survive. Every morning in Africa, a lion wakes up, and it knows it must outrun the slowest gazelle in order to survive. And at the very bottom of the poster it says, doesn't matter whether you're a lion or a gazelle. When the sun comes up, you best be running. That is the rat race. Because you've got to continually be driving, you got to continually be doing something so that you can literally eat. In America, the rat race is, for the most part, pretty simple to get out of, pretty simple and easy to get yourself really deep into. And here's what it is. You have a salary or working wage, you have your expenses, and I'm talking about your housing, your food, your income, and then maybe some doodads that we would call those toys, right? Got a couple of those things. Got, food, shelter, I don't know if we already hit that. And then at the end of that, you've got your net, and that's either going to be a positive, it's going to be a zero, or it's going to be a negative. It's going to be one of the three. So at the end of the month, when you get through the month, you're either going to have excess cash from all your expenses, or you're going to have negative cash. Now, if you're one of these dudes that's in high school, every single month you have positive cash. Every single week you have positive cash. Take advantage of that, right? But at some point, you're going to cure these expenses. You're going to have an apartment, you're going to have college expenses, you're going to have a family, you're going to have health insurance, you're going to have yada, 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 right? And so the whole goal here of getting out of the rat race, and this takes a long time, but the main goal, small business ownership or investing in general, is that you find a way to make enough months of positive net, so where your positive net, you then reinvest that positive net, and that creates some sort of passive income, some sort of passive activity. And in a perfect world, or when this plan has fully developed, your passive net, passive income, surpasses your monthly expenses, at which point you are out of the rat race. It's a huge step in life. It's a massive step. A lot of people will call this retirement. So this is the point where like your retirement assets, are basically taking care of your expenses. Retirement in this country is working a little weird these days because a lot of people will get to retirement age, then they don't work, then they go out to dinner a lot more, they go out and they do, their expenses go up. Short term, their expenses go up because they're hanging out. Mentor Mike saw this last year. He's just like, oh, I wasn't working, and like if you're not out working doing something, then you're out kind of spending it, right? And so in today's world, it's never been easier to get out of the rat race. So I wanted to do some Q&A on the rat race. I wanted to do some brainstorm with you guys on different things. I wanted to show you guys a few things that I've been working on, and I want to get you thinking like this, because like I told Mentor Mike, I think I could do what he did over the last 30 years. I think I could do it in like 6. And it's a little bit cocky, but there's a lot of advantages that I have, that we have, that Mike just never had in a million years. Number one is electronic assets, right? So things like the one thing that I've created so far in my life that's been true passive income has been a video course. So I took a bunch of knowledge, I took 2 weeks out, I built a course, and now I sell 1 or 2 or a couple of those courses every single week without fail. Normally it's increasing. So 1 course, 2 courses, 3 courses. I'd like to get to the point where I'm selling like 10 or 20 a day, right? And that just means I got to build a bigger net. I got to build a bigger YouTube following. I got to build a bigger subscriber base. But that's pretty much passive income. And then from there, there's a way to automate that passive income. So there's ways to go with the email list. We talked about this before. So, automate your email list, increase your product line, rep other people's products. And it's not a true passive income situation, but it's pretty damn close. Another example of this, old school rental properties. Still work, still cool. A little bit risky because sometimes you got to get a mortgage, but you have your renters, your tenants paying off that mortgage. And the goal there is to accumulate a bunch of these things and then have, passive income through them. Now, when you own rental property, you're going to be a landlord, which means you're going to have things like broken pipes and renters to deal with. And so it's still kind of business activities, not necessarily passive income. And then there are other ways of passive income, old school stuff like stocks, bonds, index funds, which is just a collection of stocks and bonds. And those things are basically, they spit off what we call dividends, and you would theoretically live off those dividends. Well, the number one goal here, the number one thing to get out of the rat race is you've got to get that thing between your salary or your working wage or your company profit and your expenses. You got to get your expenses as low as possible, your profit as high as possible, so that you've got that net. That's step one. Step two is what you do with that net. So where you're reinvesting that net. And you want to be investing that in things that ideally can create what I call a super asset, which is a passive income asset, like a pinball machine or a soda machine or something like that that's kind of working for you when it's not when you're not out there working it. In reality, you're probably going to end up accumulating things off the bat like equipment or education, and those things are going to probably be your biggest bang for the buck. So there's certain things you're going to be able to invest in early. So this year, this month, little things like a new chainsaw, right? So if you go ahead and you buy a new chainsaw, maybe you can do more chainsaw work, which pays better than your other work, and so therefore your income's going up, and it's not passive income, but it's a reinvestment into your income, right? So your expenses have stayed the same, your income has gone up, and then you take that net, and now you maybe go out and you buy maybe a tree lift, right? So now you've got a tree lift, now your income's going up again, your expenses, if you paid the tree lift cash, they stay the same, and the cycle continues. And then at some point, you get this snowball effect. You get this kind of effect where you're like, yo, I'm kind of rolling in cash now. And now that I'm rolling in cash, you start investing it. You've got a little bit of wisdom behind you. You're going to lose. You're going to lose in some of your investments. Some of your investments, you're going to be like, man, I wish I never did that. But you're going to learn as you go. You're going to get a little older, a little bit wiser. And if you're doing this fast, actually I don't want to say necessarily fast, but if you're doing this and just paying attention, being conscientious of what it is that you're doing, you're going to get some of that feedback, you can get some of that feedback faster.